This is Booked for Drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into He Gave Me a Sky Full of Stars. Let's go. Chapter 1. He Gave Me a Sky Full of Stars. The first time I saw my ex-husband again, he was acquiring my company. He was going to be my boss. Before, he'd bent over backwards for his precious darling, abandoning me countless times. That woman was the reason for our divorce. Tonight, we're having a company mixer with the branch office. Tons of hot guys are coming. Ladies, sign up. Our team leader announced. My coworkers eagerly signed up. Everyone knew these events were specially organized by the company for matchmaking. Just as I signed my name and was about to pack my things, my ex walked in. Whitney, get ready, you're working late tonight. He crossed my name off the list and pulled me into his office. He slammed the door shut, trapping me against the desk with his hands on either side of my body. They can go, but you can't. If I find out you're sneaking out to meet guys, I swear I'll lock you up. Chadwick's possessive tone triggered a flood of memories. Rage surged through me. What I do is none of your business. I pushed him away and stormed out of his office. My coworker, Penny, saw me come out and whispered, Whitney, what did you do to piss off Mr. Davies? Why is he always picking on you? I shook my head, went back to my cubicle, and pretended I didn't know. That's so weird. Penny lowered her voice even more. Could it be that he's into you? Is he trying to get your attention by being a jerk? The other girls in the office immediately started gossiping. One of them said, Penny's right, he always asks you to stay late and work with him. Yeah, that's true. And when they gave out mooncakes, he specifically told us to save the red bean ones for you. I snapped, stop gossiping. He has a girlfriend and they're practically getting remarried. I quickly packed my bag, swiped my card, and waited for the elevator. Inside the elevator, a few coworkers pressed. Whitney, how do you know? Is it true he's getting remarried? Of course, it's true. I'm the ex-wife who wore the cuckold horns for 5 years. I nodded and left, letting my coworkers draw their own conclusions. Chapter 2. I thought seeing my ex-husband again would make me depressed. But the truth is, my heart no longer cared about Chadwick Davies. We had been married for 5 long years, on top of a 4-year relationship. That meant 9 years together. I guess we didn't make it past the 7-year itch. But the ending was still the same, we became strangers. The moment my heart died was on our 5th anniversary. He rented out the Empire State Building for his darling, showing a 24-hour scrolling tribute to her return. That night, the sky was filled with a drone light show, creating the most beautiful scene. The trending topic was the two of them kissing under the lights, surrounded by roses. The internet was filled with well-wishing comments. Even the official Empire State Building account chimed in, calling them the perfect couple and wishing them a lifetime of happiness. Everyone was celebrating their love while I was taking care of his father in the hospital. The roses, the drone show, the happy atmosphere, none of that was for me. So that's what Chadwick meant when he said he wouldn't be home tonight. I thought I was holding it together, but my eyes still started to tear up. Dad noticed and sighed. I realized he had asked for my phone to check the weather. It was trending, so there was no way he could have missed it. Whitney, it's okay, let it go, he's not worth getting a divorce. I thought he was telling me to ignore it, but he was actually encouraging me to leave him. Dad, just focus on getting better, nothing else matters. He was my father-in-law, but he treated me well, and I wanted him to recover. As for the divorce, that was between Chadwick and me. I didn't want to worry the old man. But Dad shook his head. Whitney, I don't have much time left. If you get divorced, I'll be at peace. I never should have let you marry into that mess. I can't control him, but you have your whole life ahead of you. Do it for yourself. He shakily took out a card and a deed from the cabinet and handed them to me. I refused, but he cut me off. He hasn't even visited me once since I've been in the hospital. This is for taking care of me. Don't worry, I've saved enough for my funeral. If you don't take it, I won't be able to rest. He forced the card into my hand and ushered me out. Go home, the nurse will be here tonight. Go get a divorce. Leaving the hospital room, I sat in my car and pulled out my phone. I hesitated for a moment, but then images of the past flashed before my eyes. When did it start? He had never stopped cheating, but I had been lying to myself, thinking they had broken up so that I would feel better. I realized I had fooled myself completely. Chapter 3. I called him, but he hung up 7 times. Each time, I became more determined. Finally, he picked up. His voice was cold. What? I wanted to get straight to the point, but I still asked, where are you? Working late. His answer was no surprise, even though I could hear Charlotte's laughter in the background. I sighed and cursed myself for being so pathetic. Chadwick, be at the courthouse at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow to get a divorce. He paused, and I could hear the annoyance in his voice. Is that what we're doing now? If you want a divorce agreement, I can send it to you. You can bring it with you tomorrow. I hung up and drove home. I took out a suitcase and started packing, deciding to take only my things. Anything that had belonged to both of us could stay in the past. But when I started, I realized how much there was. And most of it was because of me. Couples' toothbrushes, matching outfits, couples' jewelry, he had never used any of it, and a lot of it was still unopened. Love is obvious. He had never loved me, so I couldn't even see something so simple. Even our wedding photos showed it. I was smiling, but he had a cold look on his face. We were standing apart from each other, just like he had never wanted to be close to me. I went to the house I had bought before the marriage, organized my things, and started thinking about what I needed to buy. That night, I slept soundly. The next morning, the sun filled the bedroom. It was so peaceful. I got ready and went to the courthouse. When I got there, I parked and waited for Chadwick. I took out my phone and saw that Charlotte had posted a series of photos. There were roses, wedding rings, photos of them kissing, and even their hotel room information. She wrote, "After all this time, it's still you." I took a screenshot. I thought it would be devastating, but after just one night, my heart was different. It wasn't that it didn't hurt, but not as much as I thought. I received the latest evidence of his cheating. I had to save it. I waited at the courthouse from the time they opened until their lunch break, but Chadwick didn't show up. A staff member came up to me. "Ma'am, we close at 11:30 a.m., and we don't handle cases during our lunch break." I nodded. "It's okay." The staff member saw that I was there for a divorce and advised me, if he's not here, maybe he doesn't want a divorce. "You should talk about it." I shook my head. "He's probably still sleeping with his mistress." The staff member looked shocked, and I told her not to worry. I took out my phone and called Chadwick. This time, he answered right away. "What? I'm at the courthouse. When are you coming?" He seemed annoyed and paused before saying, "I'm busy. We'll talk about it tonight." He hung up. As I was about to leave, the staff member said, "If he doesn't come, you can file online." She pointed to a sign in the distance. "Thank you." After lunch, I followed the instructions on the sign, uploaded the information, and filed for divorce. In the afternoon, I went to the store to buy some essentials. After I finished, it was dark. I was about to order takeout, but Chadwick called. His caller ID appeared on my phone. I reluctantly picked up. "Why aren't you home yet?" Why wasn't I home? Hadn't he just gotten back? I realized I hadn't taken much with me, so it was normal that he hadn't noticed. When I didn't say anything, he continued, "I bought you a gift, you shoal." I interrupted him. "Did you get the summons?" "What summons?" "The court summons. Since you didn't come to the divorce, I had to file a lawsuit." "I received the message, so you should have as well." "Whitney, are you crazy? Why are you getting a divorce? Now that you and Charlotte are official, you should give her your name." "I'm making way for her, isn't that nice of me? You should sign it as soon as possible." I hung up. I had already decided to get a divorce, so why say so much? The most important thing now was to order takeout. About half an hour later, I heard footsteps outside the door. I was about to get up to greet my delivery, but I stopped. I heard the sound of high heels. The door unlocked, and Chadwick walked in. He was wearing a black suit, looking elegant and composed. If he wasn't looking so gloomy and angry, everyone would have called him a young talent. In the past, when he looked like this, I couldn't help but try to appease him. No matter who was at fault. He was always high above me, like the untouchable sun. I was the weak and insecure person who wasn't touched by the sun. Now, I looked at him without the same feelings. The filter I had been wearing was strong. I believed I would get out of the shadows soon. His arrival reminded me of something important, changing the password. No, I should change the locks. Chapter 4. Chadwick walked in quickly, bringing the scent of jasmine perfume. I frowned. It wasn't his cologne, but Charlotte's. They must have been standing too close. He handed me a box and opened it. Inside was a Van Cleef & Arpels carnelian pendant. I glanced at it. He always used this trick. After an argument, he would give me a gift, and that would be the end of it. The next day, everything would be fine. He must not remember that this was the fourth time he'd given me the same gift. Chadwick looked unhappy. He thought he had made a nice gesture, but I didn't appreciate. "Did you sign it? Or are there any assets you want to split?" I didn't understand why Chadwick was stalling. We didn't have any assets to split. We had signed an agreement before the marriage. I owed that to Chadwick's friend, Ryan. As his friend, it was normal that he didn't like he wanted to get Chadwick and Charlotte together. When we got married, he suggested a prenuptial agreement so that if Chadwick dumped me, I wouldn't have a legitimate reason to ask for his property. Now, it made my divorce easier. Chadwick just needed to sign it. Charlotte came back, so we're throwing her a welcome party. Okay, then why are you causing trouble? How does throwing her a welcome party have anything to do with our divorce? It was the first time I had snapped at Chadwick. He looked shocked, then sneered. "You're upset because I didn't invite you to Charlotte's welcome party, and now you're doing this? Are you trying to play hard to get? Why wouldn't I invite you? Don't you know? You always made Charlotte uncomfortable. Why would I bring you?" He was angry and accusatory. I didn't want to argue. "Since there are no assets to split, just sign it." Silence filled the air. Chadwick finally spoke through gritted teeth. "I know you're upset that I didn't take you, so we'll throw a party tomorrow night and invite them to our house. Remember to prepare the dishes, and Charlotte doesn't eat cilantro, so don't put it in." After giving his orders, Chadwick left. I rubbed my forehead. He treated me like a maid and a cook. After eating, I looked at the button on the court app and selected the trial filing option without hesitation. I was grateful for the new rule, which allowed me to avoid the cooling off period in the signing process. Now, I just had to wait for the court to process my application on Monday. I could be divorced in 24 hours, or at most, in 2 weeks. Chapter 5. The next day, I finished buying everything I needed for my small house, including new locks and a new password. At 4:30 p.m., my phone started ringing. It was the ringtone I had set specifically for Chadwick. I muted it and continued what I was doing. About half an hour later, I finished preparing the ingredients. When I checked my phone, there were a bunch of missed calls and messages. The phone rang again, and I reluctantly answered it. What if it was an emergency call from work? "Whitney, are you crazy? Where are you?" "At home." "At home? I can't find you. Everyone's here. Why haven't you made dinner yet?" "Forget it. If we wait for you to make dinner, it'll be too late. Come to the grill restaurant immediately, or I won't sign the divorce papers." He hung up. I thought about it and decided I just wanted him to sign the papers so that the divorce could go through faster. It would save me some steps and time. I took the signed divorce agreement and went to the grill restaurant. The private room was full. When I walked in, everyone went silent. I looked around. There wasn't a place for me. I looked at Chadwick. Charlotte quickly asked the waiter to add a chair and silverware for me. After I sat down, Ryan started with his insults. The grill restaurant should upgrade. A table for 12 has become 13. It's crowded. Everyone around them were their friends, so they were all watching the show. Chadwick remained silent. Charlotte started to smooth things over. It's okay, it's more lively this way. After a few drinks, they started playing Truth or Dare. The bottle pointed to Charlotte. She chose Truth, and everyone cheered. Ryan looked at me and asked Charlotte, "Who did you come back for?" Charlotte looked a little embarrassed, but she said, "I came back specifically for Chadwick." She glanced at me, challenging me. Ryan immediately started, "Oh, love is invincible. Chadwick, you guys missed out, but now it's time to fix it." So, I was in the wrong, and Charlotte was the right path? Charlotte smiled and looked at Chadwick tenderly. "My mom was sick and needed to go abroad for treatment. I was afraid of delaying you, so I broke up with you, which caused us to miss each other." I think. Chadwick's eyes were filled with a hope that I had never seen. Chapter 6. He had never looked at me like that. I smiled at the reunion of the two lovebirds. The woman next to me leaned over and said, "Whitney, if I were you, I'd want to disappear. Why are you getting in the middle of them?" I nodded in agreement and clapped loudly, drawing everyone's attention. "Congratulations. I wish you a happy reunion, a perfect match, and lots of kids." They realized I was still at the table, still Chadwick's legal wife. Charlotte looked upset and stood up to raise her glass to me. "I'm sorry, Whitney. I forgot you were at the table. Chadwick and I are in the past. Don't worry about it. I apologize. This drink is for you." She was about to drink it all, but Chadwick stopped her and comforted her. "Charlotte, you've already had so much to drink. Don't drink anymore. It's just a game, there's no need to apologize." He looked at me. "Whitney, it's just a game. You're not going to be upset, right?" I didn't answer Chadwick. I smiled at Charlotte. "The Grill Hotel is upstairs. Should I book a room for you? Consider it a gift from me. Oh, and I'll tell you a secret. Chadwick likes cowgirl. I hope you have fun tonight." Ryan, acting as Chadwick's mouthpiece, immediately started his performance. He grabbed a nearby glass and threw it at Whitney. "Watch your mouth." The glass shattered on the floor. Charlotte rushed to smooth things over. "Whitney, don't misunderstand. Chadwick and I are just friends." She always said that, trying to provoke me into arguing with Chadwick, then stepping in to comfort him and play the victim. I casually replied, "Of course. Friends share hotel rooms." Chadwick's expression darkened. "How many times do I have to tell you, Charlotte and I aren't like that? You're always imagining things. Why do you have to make things so awkward? I'm embarrassed to be seen with you. Apologize to Charlotte and everyone else, and I'll forget about it." I looked at Chadwick and asked, "What right do you have to demand anything from me? Ex-husband?" The room froze for a moment. Charlotte's eyes darted around, and a sneer played on her lips. "Whitney, are you still mad about the Empire State Building thing?" I knew she was trying to make me look like a fool. "Whitney, if you're really upset, I apologize. I really didn't know beforehand. It was just a welcome party, and I didn't know it was your 5th anniversary." Chadwick took a deep breath, barely suppressing his anger. "Whitney, stop it. Are you trying to blackmail me with a divorce?" Charlotte apologized. "Don't be so ungrateful. Yeah, just apologize and let it go. Don't ruin our fun." A few people chimed in, putting all the blame on me. I wiped my mouth, stood up, and walked out. "Whitney, stop. You weren't home on our anniversary, either. Why are you blaming me? Wasn't it because your dad was in the hospital and you asked me for money? I gave it to you, didn't I?" I paused, hearing Chadwick's sneer. He took out a card and slammed it on the table. "You want money? Here's $1 million for surgery. Apologize to Charlotte." I turned around and stared at Chadwick. "It's your dad in the hospital, not mine." I walked out of the room, got in my car, and drove around aimlessly. I didn't understand why Chadwick was dragging his feet when signing the divorce papers would be easy for him. It would even make everyone happy. There was no reason for him to delay it. I had thought he would sign it, announce it at the party, and let his friends make fun of me while they congratulated him and Charlotte. If he just signed it, I would be free. I was used to people talking about me. I drove home, showered, and opened my social media. The first thing I saw was Charlotte's post. Chadwick was drunk, and Charlotte was holding him close. She wrote, "Good night, my prince." I didn't react at all. Chapter 7. The next 5 days were peaceful, and I felt fulfilled. Finally, on Friday afternoon, I received the divorce decree. I felt reborn. I didn't have to grovel anymore, endure Chadwick's anger, or see Charlotte's social media posts. I was excited to leave work. I wanted to take my coworkers out for dinner and karaoke. I hadn't been this happy in a long time. I enjoyed hanging out with my coworkers after work. I got home at 11 p.m. When I got out of the elevator, I saw a figure standing at my door. The person was dressed in black, and the green emergency light made it look spooky. Since I had to drive, I hadn't had any alcohol, so I was terrified. I looked closer and saw it was Chadwick. He saw my reaction, and his eyes flashed. I snapped, "What are you doing here in the middle of the night?" He pursed his lips, surprised that I didn't care about him. He couldn't get in because I had changed the password in the locks. He raised his head and pointed to the door. "You changed the password. I can't get in." I laughed and unlocked the door. I was going to close it, but he grabbed the handle and pushed it open, saying, "Aren't you going to invite me in?" He walked in. I had bought a lot of new things. It didn't look as empty as the last time he was there. He walked around my house as if he were at home. His leather shoes clicked against the wood floor. He looked around, as if he was looking for something. His eyes finally landed on the Van Cleef and Arpels carnelian pendant he had given me. It was still sitting where I had left it. Did you find it? You can leave now, I asked him, standing at the door. Chadwick hesitated, then tried to look casual. I gave it to you. It's yours. Also, I didn't agree to the divorce. I was annoyed and stopped being polite. The court already granted the divorce. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. Since you said it's mine, I can do whatever I want with it. I went to throw the pendant away, but Chadwick stopped me. You've been acting up for half a month. Don't you like it? The box fell to the ground, and the pendant and a photo fell out. I bent down to pick them up, but Chadwick snatched the photo from me. He looked at me in horror. I threw the things in the trash and tossed it out the door. I said, don't worry, I just saw the photo today. You can take it now and show it to your wife. I pointed out that he should leave. He was red-eyed and tearful. A photo? I nodded. Do you want the others? I can send them to you. You and your wife can print them out and admire them. He blanked out. Then, he glared at me. You're spying on me. I rolled my eyes. I can't even afford surgery for my dad. Do you think I can afford to spy on you? Charlotte sent them to me for free. Chadwick looked shocked. He took a few steps back and sat down on the couch. The angle of the photo showed that it was a selfie. He had asked Charlotte to buy the pendant, and he had thrown it at me without even looking at it. If I had put it there, it wouldn't make sense. Charlotte was the only one who could have done it. Whitney, Charlotte and I are just friends, I know. How many times do I have to say it? This was karma. Chadwick was kicked out. I sat on the couch for a long time. 4 years of dating and 5 years of marriage, 9 years, couldn't just disappear. I felt something, but not much. I will be over it soon. Chapter 8. Chadwick didn't appear in front of me for the next 3 months. Time faded everything. I didn't feel anything. Even when he showed up at my door today, I wasn't surprised. He was a stranger. I glanced at him, then turned around to open my door, but Chadwick grabbed me. We're neighbors now. I looked up in confusion. He explained, it's close to the company, so I bought this place. I nodded and tried to open the door. Whitney, come over for dinner. Shouldn't neighbors be on good terms? He pointed to his kitchen, where the aroma of food wafted. I waved my hands. I don't want to bother you. No, I made it myself. You used to say you liked sweet and sour pork chops. I did love that dish. But food was food, and people were people. If he kept this up, I would hate sweet and sour pork chops. It's made according to the recipe, so the flavor should be the same. But a good ex should stay dead. I went back into my house. I realized Chadwick was my neighbor. What about Charlotte and Ryan? I felt like the sky was falling. I felt disgusted and trapped. I calmed down. The next day at work, I was going to ask my coworkers about their roommate situation when I saw our team leader walk in with a man in a suit. The team leader introduced Chadwick as our new CEO and took him around to meet everyone else. I was stunned. What was going on? He became my neighbor one night and my CEO the next morning. Was he going to bring Charlotte or Ryan in, too? It was disgusting. Oh well, life wasn't perfect. Luckily, the first day was uneventful. As I was walking home, I heard a car horn. A black sports car pulled up in front of me, and Chadwick's face appeared in the window. He smiled. Let's go home together. I know you can't drive today. I looked at the car and at the rideshare app on my phone. I got in. The traffic was heavy. Chadwick said, the second White Snake movie is out. Let's go see it. I had told him before it came out that I was looking forward to it. He had said, why would you watch a cartoon? No, I'm seeing someone on Saturday. He looked at the road and then in the rearview mirror. He was quiet for a moment. Who? A coworker or a friend? Male or female? A date? He slammed on the brakes and turned to look at me. The cars behind us honked. He focused on the road again. He finally spoke again. Really? I nodded. Yeah, I wouldn't lie about something like that. Oh, a date. Important. Are you in such a hurry? It's a big deal. Of course, I'm in a hurry. We drove home in silence. The next day, I met my date. He was my classmate from college. We had debated against each other. I didn't expect to see him on a date. We sat down, and an uninvited guest appeared. Chadwick pulled up a chair and sat next to Matthew watched us. Chadwick turned to Matthew. Mr. Garcia, it's nice to meet you. I'm Whitney's ex-husband. The matchmaker might not know, but I need to talk to you. Whitney and I have a lot to work out. The divorce was a mistake. Please leave. Matthew laughed and said, I thought you and Charlotte finally got married. He turned to me. Whitney, I'm a lawyer. If you need anything, let me know. Matthew glanced at me and Chadwick. The craziest cases are free. Think of it as a thank you. Call me anytime. Matthew stood up and left. I was speechless, and Chadwick was angry. He turned to me. What's your relationship with him? You ruined my date, and now you're asking me who he is? I sighed, stood up to leave. Chadwick thought I was going after Matthew. He grabbed me and said, I want to tell you, let's get back together. I pulled my hand away. I'm not interested in a love triangle. I'm not with Charlotte. I know she left with your dad's money and came back when she ran out and wanted you to take her back. She made your dad get into the ICU. Enough. I interrupted him. Are you done? Do you think this is funny? I want us to get back together. I don't have time for this. We're divorced. We have nothing to do with each other. I walked out of the restaurant. I messaged Matthew and apologized. He said he had said that on purpose and that he was sorry. He congratulated me on leaving Chadwick and starting a new life. A new life was calling me. I went to work and went home. I nodded to Chadwick at work. Then, the company announced a new project, and Chadwick put me in charge. Go on a business trip with me tomorrow. I nodded. Work was work, and personal matters were personal. I wouldn't give up an opportunity because of personal issues. The company scheduled the meeting at a resort. After talking all day, I went back to my room and crashed on the bed. An hour later, someone knocked on my door. Chadwick was standing there in a bathrobe, shirtless. Let's go to the hot springs. I refused. His face fell. Whitney, I know I messed up, but I've been miserable ever since you left. I miss you. I tried to contact you, move next to you, and become your boss, but you ignore me. You don't even look at me. I know you hate me. I was wrong, but can you give me a chance? He looked at me, eyes watery. He pulled me in. I pulled away from him and said, never. Not a chance. He stared at me, then left. Broken mirrors can't be put back together. The cracks will grow. They will form a big hole. It can never be filled. It can never disappear. The end. And that's a wrap on today's reading here at Booked for Drama. If you felt anything, rage, swoon, secondhand heartbreak, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow drama lovers. If you have any requests, drop them in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, and keep the drama on the page.